lot of projects happening right now in Dorchester County, from roads to libraries. I talk one-on-one with Dorchester County Councilman Bill Hearn for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Dorchester County Councilman Bill Hearn, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
How you doing, Quintin?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Doing okay. So we're here to talk about your bridge run success, right?
Listen, I'm still dealing with some knee pain, but not associated with that. But I was running in expired running shoes close prior to the bridge run, and so I developed knee pain as a result of that. So I tried to get some new running shoes, but I still have pain. So I need to go to Fleet Sports and get that fixed soon.
I thought your time that you posted was pretty impressive.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that greatly. I appreciate it greatly. Yeah, like I said, I usually finish in the 45 range. So yeah. Thank God for that. You. Oh, thank you.
Well, you run vicariously through me, sir. Or I'm running vicariously through you. No, it's the other way around. Yeah.
Well, enough about me. Let me talk to you, obviously, about Dorchester County Council. As you just mentioned, there's a lot of projects going on, and you all are making progress with a lot of those projects. And I failed to mention this too, but you obviously are councilman for District 6 area of Dorchester County. And yes, I know just recently, the new, well, matter of fact, the chairman was on Channel 2 recently to talk about the new Dorchester County Central Health and Human Services campus, which is being built at the former shopping center on Buell Hill Road in Somerville. Todd actually said this, quote, "You're standing in Dorchester County's future health and human services offices. It will also house, that is, the public defenders and storage for the sheriff's department. And it will also be able to consolidate departments into one area and make it a one-stop shop for citizens of Dorchester County." So let me ask you this, Mr. Bill, how many departments in total will actually go there?
Oh my goodness. I think you just mentioned, I think right now the sum total, there's still available space to add additional departments, but in terms of health and DSS, that's really the key components. We wanted to consolidate those and have them closer together. And our chairman may have said this to you, Quintin, but for years they were separated probably 15 minutes of travel. So this brings it together. It's fairly centrally situated, and I think it will provide better service because literally it's a one-stop shop, like you said.
Now, how many more additional services will you all be able to provide now that you have this centralized location?
That situation, I think, is fluid. We will see, what demands there are and what we can do to make changes, and not to swerve. But interestingly enough, we announced last night that we're opening up a healthcare facility in St. George. Through a partnership with MUSC, and it's kind of analogous to that. We've got the DSS service, as you probably know, is huge in terms of its size and scope. My guess is they probably want to have room to grow, because with our growing population, I think you'll see an ever growing number of people who need services, and they provide a very valuable service. Up in St. George, MUSC has said, let's kind of start slow. We're going to have a MUSC Health office, a clinic up there, and we're looking to expand. Same thing, we've got room for them to expand, and it's exciting to be able to do this because obviously we have certain mandates to provide certain services. We provide space for DSS. We have, county health services that we have to provide. Healthcare is something that we're not really in the business of, but, this is all kind of an adjunct of that. But it's, we are looking forward to finally having, let's put it this way, it's been a long time since we had healthcare in the St. George area, other than, a few doctors. People, I think, had to go to Orangeburg or come all the way down to Somerville Medical or Trident. So this, at least on the non-emergency type things. This is going to be a huge thing. And just, oh, by the way, the facility in St. George is actually in the old women's detention center. So we converted the old women's jail into a healthcare center, and it's state of the art, very nice building. And again, I did swerve on you there, but
no worries.
This is so. I would say this, and I'm not sure what our chairman said, but the theme, Quintin, over the last couple of years has been our citizens have voted for referenda for transportation, for parks, for libraries. And it, stating the obvious, it's amazing what you can do when you have funds to do this. It's hard to plan and execute when you have no ability to pay for it. Well, the parks referendum, the libraries referendum is well underway. And as you probably know, we opened up our first park a few years ago, Davis Bailey Park in St. George. We've opened up the Ashley River Park, obviously down on the Ashley River near Bacon's Bridge Road. It's both of those are beautiful facilities. Pleased to report for the dog lovers, we were already underway expanding the dog park at Ashley River Park, so people will be happy about that. We are working on a park on the Edisto River. We are working on a park right now, Pine Trace, which is off Miles Jamison Road. And we have purchased property across from Ashley River Park, across Bacon's Bridge Road, along the Ashley River for additional park property. So it's kind of remarkable. And again, I say this all the time, I'm the ghost of county council members past here. I started serving in 1995, took a few years off, but in all my time on council, we've never had the ability to do this. So we're able to acquire land and actually come through and put parks together. It's, very exciting. Libraries, we have made quantum progress on that. We now have an open and operating library. It's a satellite branch in North Charleston. It's right at the front of the Fort Dorchester High School campus. Okay. It's a collaborative project with North Charleston, with Dorchester School District 2 and the county, and it is a beautiful facility. It's kind of a flex library because Fort Dorchester students can use part of the building, and then the rest of it is a public library. This is a concept that's been done in other jurisdictions and stuff. We are almost about to open up the Ashley River branch of the Dorchester County Library, and it's across the street from Ashley River Park. Beautiful piece of property, sits up on a bluff looking over the Ashley River, and we're going to tie our park property together with our library property as well as that property we have bought just downhill from that, and you will have parks and libraries in that area. It's very exciting. We're the Holy Grail, the one that we've been working on and still working on, is the Somerville branch. That's the one that we have a couple times thought we had a location, and it hasn't worked out. We are still looking, and since I do represent downtown Somerville, sure, I'd like to see that project done sooner than later. And per the referendum, we also have a library plan for Ridgeville. That in priority would be the fourth of those being done. Of course, St. George has a library. It's a great library. It's been renovated a couple of times, but that would actually give us 5 libraries in the county, which again, for people who are not familiar with Dorchester County, that's 4 more than we had. Forgive me, that's 3 more than we had for decades. Yes. We're making progress there.
Absolutely.
And go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. I wanted to break all this down for the viewers that are actually watching. So with those St. George renovations, how much did that cost county altogether?
Are you talking about the St. George Library?
Yes, sir. Exactly right.
Believe it or not, we qualified, and this happened a few years ago. Money was, a little bit cheaper in terms of labor and materials, but we had qualified, and I can't remember now if it was a community block grant, but there was a grant that was available.
Right.
We were hoping for $500,000. We actually got double that and had $1 million available, and $1 million went a long way a decade ago, and it's remarkable that just the renovations. The county, the county, of course, put some money into that, but that $1 million made a huge difference in being able to renovate that facility.
Wow. And you talked earlier about searching for a new location, I believe, for one of those new libraries that you all want to put online. Let me ask you this: what public-private partnership would you want to have for that?
Generally speaking, at least historically, Quintin, this is not really public-private. It's pretty much county. It's a county-run facility. It is a part of the county budget. We actually handle both the land acquisition and the building of the library, and then it is county library staff that actually mans that. So it's, and again, you're probably thinking, well, didn't I just talk about what happened down at Fort Dorchester?
Right.
That was really kind of that one fell into our lap. We had Mayor Summey and the school district and our desire to locate it all just came together. The land was available, and I'm trying to remember, I think the city of North Charleston donated the land, and then the school district and the county collaborated on the building itself. And if we could make that happen again somewhere, we would be happy to do it. We had kind of kicked around the idea of locating the Somerville branch on or near the Somerville YMCA downtown property. That didn't quite work out, so we're still working to find a location. Finding 3 acres in the downtown Somerville area is a little challenging, with regard to best place to put it, parking, traffic, that kind of stuff. So,
well, when you look at this property right now in your mind from a county council and a county government standpoint, is downtown Somerville already built out?
Now, this is the opinion of a county councilman saying this, but no, I think that if you look at the downtown, and again, I'm always quick to distinguish downtown from the historic district, which is hands off, that is strictly the town and the Board of Architectural Review's decision on what they want to do there. But when you come out several blocks either way from Main Street and then back down toward our county building, which is 500 North Main, there's definitely some opportunities to do some projects for collaboration. There's things that can be done that really kind of falls on what the town wants to do. They've got some projects underway on Cedar Street. I think then they're going to do a law enforcement center. They're, I think, going to do some work on their fire station, things like that. And of course, I left out the big one, which of course is the road projects.
Oh, yeah.
And when in November of 2022, our citizens passed the transportation referendum, and it's an extension of our original referendum. And just to kind of put context into this, when we passed that referendum in 2004, we were hoping to generate $125 million. And again, that's 2004. And we now know $125 million, unfortunately, will not do any one project. It turned out not to be a lot of money. However, we were able, when it was all said and done, to push through increased collections and through matching funds. We were able to use a little bit over $300 million. But this referendum now, when passed, is $700 million. And it does have $35 million for green space
Oh,
baked into that. And, we kind of follow the lead of both Berkeley and Charleston counties. And by scale, their numbers are bigger. Their transportation penny generates more revenue, but, we're very pleased. We're seeing about a $30 to $32 million a year revenue stream off of that, which
wow.
it's remarkable how this has worked.
Wow.
But our in 2024 dollars, our public works department, the engineering consultants, everybody, the price tag of just taking care of our existing roads in Dorchester County is $1.8 billion.
Wow.
So yeah. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you this, Councilman Dan. How many existing roads in Dorchester County actually need the repairs and infrastructure right now?
Our constituents would say all of them, and that's probably close. What I can say this, and it's kind of ironic. Most of what I'm about to tell you are in my council district. It's just I say it's coincidence, okay? But right now our priorities are completing Highway 78. And what I mean there is we have come down through Ridgeville. We're heading toward Ridgeville to Jedburgh, and then bringing it all the way down to the Berlin-Myers Phase 3. Of course, the Berlin-Myers Phase 3, after 16 years of delays, is finally it's underway, and anybody that drives around there will see that this project is well underway. And it again, I don't want to say something I will regret, but it's we're probably a year and a half, 2 years away from seeing that completed, but they've made tremendous progress on it.
Wow.
Those are the two roads that were the carryovers, or the two projects that were the carryovers from the old referendum. The new referendum, you've got the Maple Street extension. And Quintin, that of course is the extension off the Nexton Parkway at exit 197. And that is a project that when it was all said and done, the county, through the transportation referendum, is doing 100% of the funding of that project, although it is a town of Somerville project itself. And again, we'll get in the weeds here, but off of Maple Street is Parsons Road. Off of Parsons Road is Central Avenue.
Sure.
Off of Central Avenue is Orangeburg Road. We call it the Orangeburg Loop. So those are all priorities. And we were not able to actually touch this referendum money until May 1st. So it's, we've only had access to the funds for all of about 21 days now, but the planning had been going on for a couple of years. So there's a lot of plans that are being worked on, and, obviously we've got to do approvals and stuff, but it's crazy. And you've got, in addition to those roads, we're looking at, and it's going to come, and if you've spoken to any of my colleagues in Charleston County, they will tell you that there are a couple of priorities. One is the widening of Dorchester Road, and in some respects, that seems to be financially doable. Selfishly, and forgive me for those that live on the Dorchester Road corridor, I am trying to get some things done up in and around our area, Orangeburg Loop particularly, which is a very large scale project. And Quintin, the very long story short on that referendum, DOT in 2019 had told us that they would not be able to even start work on Orangeburg Loop until the year 2036. And that was in 2019. So we knew as a council we had to come up with a way to start generating revenue. And we decided to do the extension of the transportation referendum, which meant we closed out on April 30th the old referendum, paid off all the debt, everything's paid off, and we start over again. And right now, and this is, you may find this interesting, about 99% of all the work we are doing with that transportation referendum are for state roads, not county roads.
Wow.
And, DOT made the decision, and I don't disagree with it. They decided to put their financial emphasis on the widening of I-26 and I-95, which makes sense. I'm not criticizing that decision, but it requires the counties, and in Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester are all doing this. It requires us to step up, and we've got to do the work on these roads.
Wow.
And, as it stands right now in Dorchester, I think we probably have less than a mile of new roads that will come up. Less than a mile. We're extending Maple Street,
Sure.
To connect to Parsons, and then there may be one other area, but there's not a lot of new roads. This is mostly for now existing roads. And, we hadn't even talked about the Moonshot projects,
Right.
which would be the parallel routes on 61 or, the Glen McConnell. Those aren't really in the budget. The money's just too massive.
Wow.
We're trying to do some stuff, in our county, get some things done. I think Charleston County would also like to see us extend the Highway 78 project to the Charleston County line, because I'm pretty darn sure they're coming. Berkeley has been kind enough to collaborate with us and do some work on Jedburgh Road, which is, again, that's exit 194 off the interstate. We're bringing the Orangeburg Loop to Jedburgh Road, but if the Berkeley County hadn't joined us, it would have stopped. So this takes it all the way out to the interstate. So we're enjoying, good collaboration, not only with the town of Somerville, but with, our, Charleston and Berkeley counties, city of North Charleston. I would say we're in a pretty good place, and I don't want to leave out my friends in St. George, Ridgeville, or Harleyville. They would be offended. So.
Yeah, those are great towns and neighborhoods there as well. But let me break all of this down. So with the old referendum debt, how much did the Dorchester County pay off for that?
The debt service, when it was all said and done, and we had been actually, part of the money that is raised each year goes to pay on the debt service because it's a bond.
Sure.
But the last tranche, that last expenditure, the debt service, and it was paid over to the DOT to the Berlin-Myers Phase 3 was $35 million. That was yeah.
Wow. So with the Berlin G. Myers Phase 3, and you talked earlier about those delays, how much money did you all have to pay out for that because of those delays?
This is an interesting story. Our commitment to that, ironically, we had set our commitment to this. We thought we could do the whole project in 2004 for $35 million. So we had set aside $35 million. So in the year 2024, 20 years later, we handed over our $35 million. So the bulk of the rest of that project is SCDOT funds. So, they're handling the engineering, they're handling the supervision of it. But yes, sir, so we literally, it was impressive because the revenue that came in and comes in through that transportation referendum is more than enough to handle the debt service and get these projects done. The goal is, in any local government will tell you this, the goal is to find additional, matching funds, federal, state funds that you can actually put into it. Because a lot of the projects we do have the ability to get matching funds, grants, etc. So you can, add additional money to that. And, what I think each of the three counties likes about the transportation referendum is that a percentage of that money is paid by people who are not residents of our county. Right. So they're kind of subsidizing this project, which makes sense. They're using our roads, right? Yeah. So, yes, sir.
Now, going back, obviously, you talk about those matching funds. How much matching funds do you need for the potential Dorchester County widening?
Quintin, I'm not sure what the price tag is on that. It is, it's interesting. We believe, based on information that I have seen, and this is all preliminary, that, it's the money for Dorchester is kind of in that second Dorchester Road, excuse me, is in that second wave. I don't know, because the cost of the road improvements and construction and widening has just gone up exponentially. And the cost of the Orangeburg Loop from 2019 to 2024, 5 years,
Right.
tripled. It tripled. And it's, we are hoping and praying that, the cost on Berlin Myers Phase 3, which again, our money's in, so we're done, but we're hoping it'll get done, and stay within reason on this, because, we are perpetually looking to partner with DOT at, on other projects and stuff. But yeah, that's a tough question. I can't quantify that one.
Okay. And going back, obviously, to North Maple Street, obviously, you mentioned earlier that it's a Town of Somerville project. Now, how much is the county giving towards all of this, and how much is the Town of Somerville required to put towards that project?
Well, when it was all said and done, the county, and by county, it's the transportation referendum. Right. It's a little bit north. The county transportation referendum is putting in a little bit north of $22 million. The town, through an agreement, the town actually is not putting money in on that. They took their funding source and moved it somewhere else. And I will say this is a politician talking, if there's ever been a politician talking. Somerville supported the transportation referendum. The citizens in Somerville supported the transportation referendum. It is certainly fair for us to cover the cost of that project, because they wanted it. And frankly, when we put the referendum out, Maple Street Extension was, at the top of the list. So I don't have a problem, with that, because it's, everybody uses that road. Yeah. And everybody will use that road. And it is much needed, sir. Yeah. I don't know if you headed up that way, but everything kind of grinds to a halt right now once you leave Nexton Parkway and you hit Maple Street. So this is going to be a huge improvement. I drive by it every day. It's almost done. So.
Wow, it's almost done. And I want to get back to that in a second, Councilman. But you talked earlier about, obviously, the Ashley River Park, and obviously the library that's going to be right across the street that the county purchased. Now, by tying those two properties in, how much does that save the county?
Well, it's, centralizing the parks, and I left out one. There's a park that's been in there for over a decade, Rosebrook Park, which is actually down at the intersection of Bacons Bridge Road and Highway 61. So we will connect Rosebrook, which is basically, it's a passive park. It's more of a nature trail, but so Rosebrook will tie in to the properties on the library side of the road, which is across the street from the Bacons Bridge, across Bacons Bridge, across Bacons Bridge, easy for me to say, excuse me. The Ashley River Park is roughly about 80 acres, and it, certainly in terms of security, in terms of, staffing, instead of spreading, duplicate people out, we are able to, we have park employees, park rangers, security, maintenance, all that stuff is kind of centralized in that area. We, like I said, the Pine Trace Park is also going to be more of a passive park. It's between 290 and 300 acres. It's huge. But it'll be very natural. It's crazy when, like I told you, in the 90s, we didn't even think about things like this. And suddenly we've got tracts of land that we're able, through the referenda, to do something with. And you may have heard this from our chairman, but when we opened Ashley River Park a couple of years ago, we were hoping to have a couple of hundred people show up the first weekend. I think it was 9,000. It was some outrageous number of people showed up over 3 days. So we were like, well, it proved that, build it and they will come. No doubt about it.
That's right. And quickly, Pine Trace, is there any toxic flooring being installed for the playground?
Sir, say that again. Is there any
toxic flooring being installed with the playground?
Toxic flooring, sir?
Yes.
No, not that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it's going to be natural.
Okay.
And generally speaking, man, that is a question for my fellow councilman Jay Byers, but he's our parks guy. But no, I think it's all natural.
Okay. Oh, yes, sir. And is it fresh water that will be stocked with fish?
Yes, sir. There's a body of water, a pond that's out there. We did our groundbreaking right in front of that pond. So yes, and there's it. We'll see how this plays out. Money will kind of speak to how this all happens, but it's envisioned. I think disc golf, frisbee golf course out there. They're working on that. I think areas certainly for walking, jogging, dog walking, that thing. Those kind of things. Fishing out there. There's been talk of, and again, this may be more long term, but even having a camping area back there. It's a big piece of property. So, and you will not see ball fields, soccer fields on that property. Just the nature of it is such, we can't put them out there.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And quickly, quickly, 1 minute, Councilman, let's talk about obviously Dorchester County's acknowledgement of the relationship of Google. Obviously, the property was acquired by the company this year. When did Google close on this property?
Quintin, this is an interesting question. The county is still under a non-disclosure agreement, even though the world is talking about it.
Yes. You can't talk about
it. I don't even say that name, and I am not sure when they are going to announce. And this is an interesting thing, because it is, they are slated to go into the Pine Hill Business Park, which is down. It's down. Arbigen is down there. It is near Highway 61 and Highway 17A. And it's part of the original East Edisto tract down in that area. But the timing of this is a great mystery. And I will say this to you. I've had plenty of people ask questions about this, particularly in light of the local media, talking about it. And people ask questions that I'm not allowed to answer yet. It's a little, people think, like I'm holding back, but it's strange. You mentioned the name of the prospect. I don't even say it out loud to this bit.
Right, I understand.
But yes, sir, it is. I think it's. I believe we will see an announcement coming up. It's going to happen this year. Maybe we'll see it happen by the end of the third quarter, but man, I wish I knew the answer to that.
Sure. I know you can't speak too much about it. Going back, obviously, to MUSC coming to St. George, when did they close on that property?
They're actually not closing on the property. The county's actually providing the building.
Okay.
So, and what happened is this: when we again took the jail, totally renovated it, putting it in a form that will, be, I think, modern and, something that will work for healthcare, doctor's offices, nurse offices, waiting areas.
Yes.
We've left some space. In the future, we may be able to have diagnostic services, MRI, that kind of thing. That's coming. MUSC says they will bring the MRI truck up on occasion. But no, basically we had put this property out to bid, and we're thankful MUSC decided to take a gamble. Now, again, it is, everything's based on population, based on numbers and stuff, and they feel like, and what I'm telling you here was said in public last night, so I can repeat this very easily. So,
big news.
They said, we appreciate the concept, but we would like to start a little, toned down, not full board. They're going to start it up, work it up, and then start adding services to it. But, certainly basic health care, the doctors and nurses will be there. They will add the diagnostic services. And it's interesting because I know this to be true. Each of the healthcare providers in the area want to be the first to plant the flag and put up a hospital up there, but it's the numbers just aren't there yet. But Quintin, I was at the Trident Hospital emergency room a couple months ago with one of my family members, and just was watching where the EMTs were coming from in the emergency room, and they were coming, from, of course, Dorchester, Berkeley, Charleston, Georgetown County, Colleton County, Orangeburg County.
Yes,
I believe they said there's probably 7 counties that send patients into that area. So there's a need, and that's the challenge, because we are. And I don't think I would have said this to you when we spoke a few years back, but Dorchester County was formed in 1897, and we spent basically the first 120 plus years heading east, heading towards Somerville and North Charleston. Well, guess what? We have now, in the last couple of years, we're heading back. We're going west, and a lot of the development, a lot of the changes are heading toward I-95, and it has everything to do with the fact that we were able to run water line coming off of Lake Marion over to Highway 78, and then down to Ridgeville, and then up to I-95. And that is kind of a game changer in terms of being able to develop and do things up in that area.
Yes, sir. Well, to be continued, and next time, Dorchester County Councilman Bill Hearn, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Quintin, thank you so much. Good luck with that knee, sir.
Thank you. I'll get rid of it before summer.
Good luck with that. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.